Caregivers have a 400% increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. And I want to share with you, if you are a caretaker, I really want you to watch this because I'm going to share with you why you have an increased risk and what you can do to help prevent Alzheimer's disease and how you can help best care for the person you're caretaking for. My name is Robert Love. I'm a neuroscientist and I have a medical clinic in Florida where we are reversing Alzheimer's in our patients. And my medical director is Dr. Josh Hellman, a medical doctor trained at Harvard. So why are caregivers 2 to 4 times more likely to get Alzheimer's disease than the average person? So I know that's big range, but there's a significant risk factor. Why? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, caretakers share genetics with people who have Alzheimer's. If you're a caretaker with someone who has Alzheimer's disease, you likely share genetics with someone who has Alzheimer's disease, and so there may be a genetic component to it. Number two, there may be a lifestyle component to it. So you may have a similar lifestyle to the person who has Alzheimer's disease. Most people who are caretakers, certainly most unpaid caretakers, are family members of someone or a close relative of someone. So there's could be a lifestyle overlap and there could be a genetic overlap. Aside from that, major risk factors include increased stress. So caretakers have a significant amount of daily stress. Number two, there's poor lifestyle, specifically a lack of self-care. Caretakers are spending a lot of their energy and daily life caring for someone else, and they spend very little time caring for themselves, generally speaking. And so that lack of self-care has negative health consequences, and that can increase the risk of Alzheimer's disease. And then number three, a huge factor is lack of mental stimulation. Lack of mental stimulation. And the fourth is a sedentary lifestyle. They may be helping the person with Alzheimer's disease, but it's less likely that they're enjoying active physical exercise in their regular life. There's a great book, Reversing Alzheimer's by Dr. Heather Sandison. She's a naturopathic doctor who has reversed Alzheimer's in clinical trials with behavior, with diet, exercise, sleep, reducing stress, improving learning, and so forth. She's got a great diet in her book, but that's the shortcut for you. Organic fruits, organic vegetables, healthy protein, minimal processed foods, ideally none, minimal sugar. If you're going to do sugar, I recommend monk fruit sugar, allulose, stevia, or maple syrup, or a little bit of honey. Don't do refined sugar. Don't do cane sugar. Uh, I'd recommend avoiding those. Those can create sugar spikes and insulin spikes, and that can increase the risk of type 2 diabetes, as well as which can also increase the risk of Alzheimer's disease. And you definitely want to avoid soda. I recently looked at a bottle of Coca-Cola. I think it had over 50% of the recommended daily allowance of sugar. And so I don't recommend drinking soda at all, not even diet soda. There's negative impact of aspartame on your gut bacteria. So I recommend avoiding all those and make sure you're eating lots of fermented foods. So that means Greek yogurt with no added sugar. I like coconut yogurt or kefir. That's my favorite. You can also get almond yogurt. I recently had some of that. That was really tasty. So yogurt that doesn't have sugar added to it, that's really good for your gut bacteria. What's good for your gut is good for your brain. Sauerkraut, or you can do kimchi or natto. These are really good. So I eat a lot of that. And please consider a fish oil supplement and B complex vitamins. Fish oil research from Dr. David Smith at Oxford found that those who do a fish oil supplement and a B complex vitamin, a methylated B complex vitamin, make sure it's a methylated B complex vitamin, have a 30% reduction in the risk of Alzheimer's disease. Just those two supplements. And eat lots of mushrooms. Eat lots of mushrooms. Research from Li Fang and colleagues out of Singapore found that those who eat mushrooms 3 times a week or more have approximately a 40% reduction in the risk of Alzheimer's disease. So basically, eat mushrooms 3 times a week. These can be shiitake mushrooms. These can be lion's mane mushrooms. That's my favorite. Lion's mane mushrooms, great for the memory, great for reducing stress. So many benefits of those. You could also take those as a supplement. So shiitake, lion's mane, maitake. You can do portobellos. Make sure you cook them, but eat lots of mushrooms. So good for your brain. So eat lots of those delicious, healthy foods. Remove the ultra processed foods, get your sleep, and get your exercise. Please get your exercise. Research from the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, found that those who do 4,000 steps a day, which is basically walking for approximately half an hour, 45 minutes, which you can easily do just in the morning or on you can have phone conversations while you do it. Walking for half an hour to 45 minutes, 4,000 steps a day, reduces the risk of Alzheimer's by approximately 25%. And if you walk 9,800 steps, that reduces the risk by 50%. So doing 10,000 steps a day basically cuts your risk of Alzheimer's in half. So get your time outside and time outside walking. And please go walking with the person you're caretaking for. Walking is terrific for the brain. It walking is a complex locomotion. Our brain's actually working a lot to stay balanced as we're walking. It's good for your heart. It's good for your muscles. It's good to be outside. So walking is so good. So please walk with the person you're caretaking for and make sure you are getting plenty of exercise. Ideally, I'd recommend setting aside at least 30 minutes. At least 30 minutes. Please do this for your self-care. Set aside at least 30 minutes a day for your exercise. It could be yoga, it could be stretching, it could be resistance training, weightlifting, but get your exercise in. Please, this is one of the most important things you can do as a caretaker because then you're healthy. And if you're healthy, you can help take care of this person. And if a lot of us do, a lot of us do this, and specifically a lot of mothers do this, they prioritize their children's health over their health, and then they're not as effective of a parent. Men do this somewhat, but women, I've really seen this, that women, there's this pressure to put the priorities of others, put the priorities of other family members and of their children ahead of their own well-being. And I think that's a mistake because if you're not healthy, it's hard to care for others. So you caregiver, you need to be healthy, you need to be strong, and you need to take care of your health so that way you can really take care of this person you love. So prioritize your sleep um, and get your exercise, eat healthy food, and try to reduce your stress. You can do breathing exercises. Andrew Huberman, a neuroscientist at Stanford, has shared the physiological sigh. I'll demonstrate that for you. And his work has shown that this greatly reduces stress. So I like to do this before bed, and I'll also do this throughout the day. This just really helps calm me. So it's a double inhale and a slow exhale. It looks like this. Inhale, and then just to top off a little bit more, slow exhale. So if you're watching this, why don't you do that with me? So sit up straight in good posture. Inhale, pause, inhale the rest of the way, and slow exhale through the mouth. And notice how you feel when you're doing that. Just 10 seconds of breathing like that has nice, calm relaxation to it. And then Andrew Weil has he developed Dr. Andrew Weil developed the 4-7-8 count, which I really like to do before bed. Extremely relaxing. I also do this when I get in my car before I start driving, so that way I'm relaxed and centered. So it's inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. And so it's just 4-7-8. So inhale for 4, pause for 7, 2, 3, and exhale for 8. Really nice. So just breath work is really relaxing. And please have a spiritual practice, whatever spiritual practice you want. Prayer, meditation, could be breath work, could be time in nature, could be reading the Bible, the Torah, the Quran. Pick your holy book, the Bhagavad Gita, one of my favorite spiritual texts. I actually had that by my bedside for a number of years. If you haven't read it, by the way, the Bhagavad Gita is an amazing spiritual text, very, very short, very powerful. So please engage in your spiritual practices. We find humans find this gives both meaning and purpose and helps reduce stress. And then prayer, I have found prayer is very powerful. Once again, Dr. Andrew Huberman mentioned in a podcast with Jordan Peterson that he prays before every podcast, which I found striking. I found that very astounding. And I found that very interesting. And he's a neuroscientist, he's a scientist, and he has one of the most successful podcasts in the world that's based on science. And so I thought that was very interesting for him to share that he prays before every podcast. I found prayer to be very effective in my life, not only in reducing stress, but improving outcomes in my life and having a really wonderful life. And so I highly recommend engaging in a practice of prayer that is helpful to you. So caretakers, just to review, you caretakers have a 2x to 4x increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. That's a 200 to 40% increased risk. That is huge. And so here's some things you can do to mitigate it. Prioritize your self-care. Get your daily exercise, something you enjoy. Prioritize your sleep. If you're having trouble sleeping, magnesium glycinate's been very effective. Lion's mane supplements have been very effective in helping people improve the quality of their sleep. L-theanine helps reduce stress. I like to take L-theanine with my coffee. That helps reduce my stress. Or if I'm traveling, if I'm flying, I usually have more stress on days that I travel, so I take L-theanine then. You can also take it before bed. Um, and then we mentioned the supplements fish oil and B complex vitamin and methylated B complex vitamin. Those are really good. Exercise and then eating healthy food, avoiding processed food, eating organic fruits, organic vegetables, healthy forms of protein, avoiding grains, avoiding gluten, avoiding ultra processed foods. Really, really important. Avoiding sugar, avoiding soda. And then having a spiritual practice, engaging in conversations with people you love, making sure you're staying in touch with friends and family. Get your regular hugs. Research shows humans do best with about 7 hugs a day. And so if you're not getting 7 hugs a day, find some friends and family members who you can hug on a regular basis. That's really helpful and it's free. Um, and learn something. When you are caretaking, a lot of people aren't using their brain to its full capacity because you're dealing with someone who has dementia. So make sure you are learning things, reading, listening to podcasts, listening to documentaries, or watching documentaries. But please learn something. Your brain will really, really enjoy that. I love you. God bless you.